Yeah.
Zam.
Hey, dude.
In other news,
You're still a bitch.
you're not wrong. But in other news, welcome to the Mere Nonsense podcast,
Mhm.
where
Hello.
we're about to start a GoFundMe to get Brad a green screen.
I just want to
Not
not show my messy ass bedroom today.
not even a better webcam, just a green screen, which is probably more expensive than the webcam.
Green
It
screens
might be.
are
It depends.
cheap. Green screens are cheap,
Yeah, you just need some green fabric. Be
pretty
fine.
much.
So, Brad brought up that a new Witcher game was just announced. And they're
Yes, sir.
going to stop using Red Engine, which is the engine that they've been using for Cyberpunk and I'm pretty sure the last couple games, but they're going to partner with Epic Games as well. With that,
They're using Unreal Engine 5.
yes. Which hopefully it turns out for the better, especially with
Mhm.
how bad of a rep they just got from Cyberpunk, which is still upsetting. It sucks that that game sucks.
I mean, it didn't like suck. It just had so many problems at launch, despite being put off.
It
How
it
many
still
times?
has problems a year later.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're
I
still
mean,
trying
Nope.
to patch it. They're still trying to fix it, but I mean that ship has sailed. At this point, it's just the only I don't know the few curious people that still want it to work or play. I guess.
hmm
Side note, do you guys hear my fan at all when I talk?
No.
no.
Okay. Um, can I just get The Witcher 4 where it's like basically CGI Henry Cavill in there?
Please. I wouldn't doubt that they'd be able to do that.
Yeah. There's there's a really interesting horror game that I watched Markiplier play. Forgot what it's called, but basically it's like a click adventure thing. Um, where you have to like go down a hallway and then you can decide which room you go into and then you decide which action you choose.
hmm
You have like this inventory, whatever. But the way they did it is the game is animated like a game, but when certain things happen, it's real people like acting it out. But it actually looked kind of good. Like it looked almost natural being in there. Um,
hmm
kind of like I don't know, like not even cutscenes, but just like anything with like dialogue where two people are talking, it would be like an actual like scene out of a movie. But they did it pretty well.
Noise, noise.
Give me a click adventure with Henry Cavill.
At this point,
Right.
just put Henry Cavill on anything.
Yeah. Also, shout out to Jake for watching pretty much every podcast. I didn't know that until recently. Thank you, Jake.
Right, dude? Go, Jake, go.
If
Go,
uh,
go,
if
Jake, Jake.
anyone if anyone else is here, feel free to comment. I would like to know,
Especially Jake.
Especially.
especially Jake.
We love you,
Jake,
Jake.
make sure you comment.
So, Brad's going to end up watching the Jujutsu Kaisen movie soon.
Yep,
Movie. Yeah.
couple hours.
A lot of good reviews for it.
Yeah, I think it's what the story zero or whatever. It's like the prequel basically, where it shows like Gojo younger.
Right.
I think. Pretty sure. Um,
Well, you're
I
about
don't
to
know.
find out, brother man.
Mm-hmm.
I am excited. I hope that means that the new season is coming soon.
Speaking of new season,
2023 release for season 2.
2022
That
release.
fucking
So, no, 2023
Oh,
for
for
season
season.
2.
gotcha. You got a little dyslexic there.
That far away, man. God damn it.
I know. Maybe the movie will satiate us a little bit.
Wish you would satiate me a
I
little
got
bit.
like 10 minutes into the first episode of Fire Force before I had to
Yeah,
start doing a bunch of other stuff. Was not expecting that at all. I was
that's a
like,
good start too.
I was like, all right, what is the big deal about Fire Force? Because like there's a lot of people that talk about it, you including. Um, but I don't know, just the cover of it and then the sound of it. It's just like what? It's just like extra. I don't know. It's just like firefighters doing something extra than normal, I guess. But no, it fucking starts off amazing. There's demons and shit, fire demons.
So for those who don't know about Fire Force is you have firefighters who have some have fire powers, but the whole thing is at some point humans started combusting, um, like setting a flame and turning into basically fire demons. And the fire departments they're split up, but each of them have like basically firefighters who like go and like fight the demons, and then they're supposed to exercise the demons too to give them a peaceful ending. But I think some of the departments or whatever they're called, I think like there's one that's specifically all like clerics or whatever, the people who
Hmm.
will dispel the demons. And then there's like just a military combat side of things. um but the whole thing that people love about the show, so the visually it's pretty good visually, but the sound, the audio, everything is so fucking good from that. Like just they amplify the bass with like every attack. It's just it's kind of cool.
Right.
People praise Demon Slayer and Jujutsu Kaisen for their animation. I praise Fire Force for its sound quality.
Fair enough. So I just I finally caught up to One Piece, and I saw that their last episode was well, in like the beginning of March, I think. And I'm like, oh well, it's been a couple weeks already. I did not know that. Now I don't know how to pronounce this correctly, but Toy Animation,
Toei.
Really?
they got hacked, and because of
Yeah,
that, it delayed
they had to shut down.
delayed One Piece indefinitely.
They had to shut down production on everything. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Wasn't that? I might be thinking of something else, but wasn't that like last year, or
What
is that
the
something that more
The
recently?
story just came out recently. I don't know if they
Mm.
got hacked last year. Now it's the repercussions.
right?
But no, I only heard this like a week ago that they got hacked,
Because
or
episode
within the week.
1014 was supposed to come out this past week on the 13th of March, but they delayed it, so
Yeah.
no one knows exactly when they're gonna start that again.
Oh no, it looks like all my friends have to catch up by reading. Get to where I
I'm
am.
okay with reading, but instead I'll just ask you, which is
That's fair.
what I was doing yesterday.
Yeah, I gave him all the spoilers. It's getting intense. Oda really knows what he's doing with that story. I'm pretty sure Oda knew the ending when he started it, and that's what he's based it all off of.
Right.
And like you're really seeing everything like get pieced together now, and it's really nice. It's
Do you think? Do you think so? Uh, the last chapter that you read. No spoilers on this. I'm just wondering, on your opinion, do you think he is starting to move things faster because of that?
so I think Wano itself, actually call it since the Reverie, so right before Wano, so end of Dressrosa into the Reverie into, or well, I guess you had the whole Zunisha arc, whatever. But and Whole Cake, I fucking forgot about Whole Cake. That was such a weird arc.
It was it. So
So
it
Reverie into
had
Wano though.
yeah, but yeah, no whole cake. That was it had cool storyline for Sanji and then the battle with Luffy and Katakuri, but for the
Yeah.
most part, no.
Yeah, no, that was another setup arc for Wano because now you have spoilers, you have Big Mom in Wano with
Yeah,
Kaido. But yeah, no, so since the Reverie and Wano, there have been a lot of revelations that we've seen. Um, side characters like X Drake and guys like that. Killer, we figured out what happened to him, and Kid. But some of the deeper stuff, like the stuff I told you last week, we haven't we haven't really gotten anything like that since Reverie, but now we are. And I feel like Oda is the king of pacing himself. So what he could do is he could just spend the next couple weeks focusing on all the side characters. The only thing though is the the three other big fights going on are all done. It just got down to Luffy versus Kaido,
Right.
and whenever that happens in any other arc, that's kind of like the end of it. But with what recently happened, I mean, maybe another flashback or some shit. But um, I think that we are going to get a huge chunk of the story coming up soon. And then he is going to put another delay and get into the next arc and start doing other stuff. But I think we're gonna get some pretty big revelations soon.
Right. I I ended up going through the list of whatever interested me on Crunchyroll. I ended up seeing
Yeah.
Digimon Adventure that came out in 2020. I did not know that was a reboot of the first season.
Was it?
On top of that, they did things a lot differently. Um, they have more what they call digivolutions than they showed originally in America. And that is fucking cool because I mean that's one of my favorite parts about that show. But
Mm-hmm.
I ended up watching like one of the last few episodes, just because there's this character, one of the main Digimon, arguably the main one I think, um, Agumon, turns into this Digimon called War Greymon. I just always thought that was like the coolest thing ever. Uh,
You mean Armored Dragon level 3 and Armored Dragon level 5?
Something like that. But yeah, I just wanted to see it. I'm like, all right, how much better could they make it? The animation is awesome. It's still it's updated on the parts that need to be, and then they did some new things as well, which
Yeah.
it's a really cool animation that they got right now. So I'm probably gonna end up watching that.
Okay.
It's just like
Uh,
tugging on my childhood right there.
Mm-hmm.
our buddy Mike Gucci, he's on the podcast. Mentions at our poker night a show called Ranking of Kings. Never heard of it until he mentioned it. But he says it's very good.
I can't say
Um,
I've ever heard of it either.
yeah, so I think I think this is the summary. How prosperous your nation is, how many powerful warriors it boasts, and how heroic and strong its king is. These are the criteria that factor into the system known as ranking of kings. The main character, Boji, was born the first prince of the kingdom, ruled by King Basu, who is ranked number 7. But Boji was born unable to hear and is so powerless that he can't even swing a sword. In consequence, his own retainers and public look down upon him, completely unfit to be king. It is then that Boji finds his first friend, Kage, and Boji's life takes a dramatic. Okay, so he's like his own little king, and he's ranked the lowest, and it's a come up story.
Interesting.
Hmm. I see. I
Got
see.
22 episodes right now.
The animation style kind of looks.
Strange?
Old school,
Yes.
I guess.
That would.
No,
Yeah,
like
I can see kind of old school.
actual old school. Like
Mm-hmm.
what's that one fucking anime that has like 5,000 episodes?
Oh, that's
One
supposed to
Piece.
be the longest running anime.
Yeah, it looks like a kid's anime. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, Billy, One Piece, I don't even think is in like the top like 25 longest anime.
imagine.
Um, so he told us about that one. I'm interested. I might watch it someday. I guess while we're on anime, I'm excited for a new My Hero season. Z, you gotta watch that.
When does
My
that
Hero's
release?
Maybe.
My Hero's so good. Um, what season would that be?
B3, wouldn't it?
5?
5.
Yes, they're not season 3.
Just thought
Uh,
that there was the beginning season and then the My Villain Academy season.
Glass shattering moment for Billy.
hold on. If this, hold on, this might be earlier March 27th. Oh, that's season 5. So I think it's season 6.
Damn.
Jesus.
Has recently featured showed its cover with more specific release date October 2022. Fuck yeah.
Nice.
Also, Bleach coming back in October. Uh, that's another one you gotta watch. Z. Now the thing with Bleach is there is a lot of filler for Bleach, and you can probably like none of the filler actually gives you any extra story. The arcs are separated from the rest of the story, so you can actually just throw out all the filler. Like they're full filler arcs, and they're not good.
I don't want to say never, but I'm probably never gonna watch that show.
Why?
It's a good
It
show
just
when they're
doesn't
not writing
interest me.
themselves into plot corners with an unbeatable boss because they made him so strong.
That's the type of show where I'd much rather watch clips and like I guess like people talking about the storyline and stuff like that. Nah, it just
But you're
doesn't.
willing to watch a mid show like Attack on Titan?
Exactly.
It's mid as
Right?
fuck.
I hate the people who are like, "Oh yeah, I'm never gonna watch One Piece," but they watched Naruto, Naruto Shippuden, and Boruto.
What's wrong with that?
That's about 1,000 fucking episodes
That's pretty much
themselves.
what Billy did. Yeah, I don't know.
Thank you.
Like I
Yeah,
said, it just never
bullshit.
really interested me all that much, especially because it's another long show, and it's just compared to like all the other long shows that I'm considering watching. I don't know,
But have you ever considered watching a show about yourself?
the Truman Show.
You say the Truman Show? Is that what
Yeah.
you said?
Yeah, you ever
Oh,
see
you
that?
said a German show for a second.
Yeah,
It's
same
like,
thing.
same thing. Maybe a little different.
Oh, so OG Naruto has a little over 200 episodes.
Mhm.
Shippuden has 500 exact, and Boruto has 222.
Add that
Yeah, it's
all
900 episodes.
That's
It's
One
still
Piece!
less.
There we
It's
go.
less than One Piece. It's 900 episodes.
God.
It's like
And so I joked about Attack on Titan being mid, but Naruto, and this is coming from a guy who watched all of Naruto through Shippuden. Naruto's fucking mid. It's not that good. Like people are like, oh my god, the plot twist. Like you didn't see the guy come in that had the one Sharingan in his eye. You didn't think that was gonna be the kid who supposedly died in the past. Oh fuck yourself. Like that's not a fucking twist.
let
The
it
twist
all
was
out,
like
Brad.
the twist was maybe bringing Madara back. And then
Hey.
so Billy talks about bringing an unbeatable boss like in just out of like Kaguya. There
She was
so
beatable. What do you mean? They beat the shit out of her.
shut the fuck up for one. So Z Naruto has built up this bad guy for a while named Toby, right? Toby's a part of this group called the Akatsuki, and Toby's like kind of on the sidelines. And like as it goes on, it turns out he's a little more menacing. Like he's goofy, and then it turns out he's a little more menacing than he seems. Turns out that he's like Kakashi's old friend who was supposed to die, or who he thought he died as a kid, right? So he's
Sasuke's
angry.
distant relative.
And then the other thing is Madara Uchiha was like basically like a god of shinobi back in his day, and he died. And then there's like this whole reanimation thing, which is kind of cool. They built that up to where he was going to be reanimated and he became a bad guy again. In the middle of the final fight, some alien bitch came out of fucking nowhere that was never even mentioned once in the past, and it's like, oh, this is the final boss fight now.
They mentioned Kaguya a little bit before.
In the war arc, maybe.
Did you not watch the war arc?
I read all of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
But
Billy,
but
he read
still,
all
the
of
war
it.
arc is still
Read
the
all of it.
last like couple 100 episodes or whatever.
I didn't care for the plot of Naruto. I just enjoyed all of the fighting scenes because they animated very well those scenes. I feel like there's trying to remember who they were fighting.
Madara, the scene where Madara was just low key doming all of the shinobi when
That
like
was a
he
good
he got on
scene.
the battlefield. That was good
Hmm.
because it's just showing him throwing hands with all of them, and that's
And
animated really well.
destroying
Ka-
them.
Kakashi versus Obito, another well
Hmm.
animated fight that was basically them just throwing hands. Like it was good.
And it kept like, I can't. It kept going back to like their fights as a child, or was that Sasuke and Naruto? There's one fight where like they're doing everything, and it keeps cutting back to like when they were training together, and it's like
Uh,
the same exact moves.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was both fights, honestly.
It could have been, but I mean, there's another fight too, and this might be a little bit later on, like right before the fourth Great Ninja War ended. But it was like it's Sasuke and Naruto, and they're just fucking shit up, and they're like teleported. Like the animation was just mind blowing. It was so good. That
Um,
was why I liked it, and plus it's got like war and death and shit. So
all right. So for you then, Z, if you don't like Bleach, my honest recommendation is My Hero. That is a good animation, one of the best current main characters in all of anime. He's like the underdog story of him coming up is actually done very well with him. He doesn't just I mean he literally gets his powers out of the blue, like that's point. But the way he has to develop with those powers, and just seeing him like grow up. The one thing this show does really well is it actually shows him grow up in the show.
So what
mhm.
And
you're
like
saying
it's
is this show is the Dark Souls of Sky High.
the Sky High is the Dark Souls of movies. Dog shit ass movie, but
Did you
yes,
ever
it
watch that
is.
movie, Billy?
No, I don't think
What?
wait, Sky
You've
High, that's the
never
one
seen
where
Sky
they're
High?
hold on. Sky High is the one where they're like heroes, and they're going to like school because their parents were heroes, and it's like
Yeah.
a hero
Yeah,
Yeah.
school,
Yeah,
a
it's like
it's
hero
My
my
Hero.
it's
Yes,
like
academia,
My
if you
Hero
will.
Academia.
it is My Hero. Yes, but the main so spoilers for like the first two episodes, I guess. All Might is
A bitch.
like number one hero,
Oh, okay, yeah.
strongest guy, probably the strongest hero to exist up to this point. Um, but he got his powers called All for One, I believe, or One
Mm,
for All, one of the two. I think it's All for One.
One, mm,
One for all.
one for all
All for
is
One's the bad guy. One
yeah.
for all. Okay, so One for All is the power. Power is basically super strength, whatever. Like gets him really powerful, but he can transfer that power to somebody else. So All Might in one of his fights basically almost dies. He's already losing his powers. So he gives his powers to Deku. Deku is one of the like 1% that does not have powers in this world. But I guess I could spoil this a little bit because it's not surprising. As the show goes on, it turns out that he slowly gets the powers from everyone else who has also had One for All in the past. So there was like
Mhm.
9 other people or something. So he gets uh, All Mights immediately, and then he gets someone in the past. But the cool thing that I like about the show is it actually has to show the development of him. So he's a kid, right? Tiny little kid. All Might was this big Jack Superman looking adult.
Fucking huge.
Right, but so the thing about All Might is he grew into his powers. He was able to use them. Deku has all the same powers he does, but as a little kid. So as he tries to go and punch, he breaks his arm every time he uses the power.
It's not just his
Oof.
arm either. Like
He breaks
it's
his well. So there's a point where he has to try to not break his arm. So he starts flicking, and he breaks a finger, flicks the other finger, flicks the other finger. So
Jeez.
he's breaking each finger to try to because the I'm spoiling everything right now. Another thing was like, hey, you need to prove that you can get through this without breaking your arms. So he's like, okay, I'm gonna start using all my fingers.
yeah, because you'd be a liability if I have to keep fucking carrying you off the field.
So it's him actually growing into that power, and not just him being able to get the power and then use it perfectly from the beginning. No, it is he actually is harming himself every time he uses it, and it's him learning how to use it in his own way. And then once he starts getting the other powers, that's really fucking cool too. Because one of them is actually particularly dangerous. It's really dope.
Alright, dude. Well,
and then
Fair
All Might
enough.
dies, and then All for One is.
Just gave me the story for like the first 100 episodes. Gotcha.
Just I don't even know if there's 100 episodes. Actually, I think it did just hit episode 100.
See what I mean? I don't need to watch it anymore. Thanks, Brad.
I'm dead.
So, all right, this is gonna get you super tilted, Brad. But
What?
I looked up top anime, and there's this first page that came up: 30 best anime of all time, and they
Naruto
put
number one.
Naruto number two, and then
They-
Demon
they-
Slayer
Naruto
number
two.
one.
Demon
It's
Slayer
like
number
Demon
one.
Slayer?
Yeah.
See, what's
Nice.
funny is so obviously the animation for Demon Slayer is like the attraction there. It's such a okay story. You know, like it's a pretty plain Jane story. Like there's demons, your sister's a demon, you're trying to change her back. That's about it.
Yeah. It's fun.
It's,
That's all that show really is fun.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with
Um,
that.
I mean, I can admit that Naruto has very good moments that are worthy of being number 2 on the list, but as a whole, like One Piece should be number 1 over Naruto in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I guess that's also maybe because One Piece hasn't shown all of the big shit yet. Naruto's done, you know. Naruto has a beginning and an end basically, but One Piece hasn't
Mhm.
been able to show its true colors because it hasn't shown all of the years of shit we've been waiting for.
Right.
Right.
So I want to sidetrack.
Where's Cowboy Bebop on that list? It better be
Right?
top 10. Better be top 10.
It was somewhere in the last 30,
It was actually number
the
10.
last 10. Yeah, I know the list was really weird. But anyways,
A lot of hentai.
a lot of hentai. Well, we'll sidetrack from anime for a
Goblin
little bit.
Slayer number 1.
So Disney Plus managed to put in the Netflix Marvel shows on there. I am surprised that they had the balls to do that because these are like rated R type of shows.
Mhm.
There's a lot of blood. There's a lot of. It's just violent as fuck. And like, I was having this. So they ended up taking it out of Netflix. I think the same month too. The beginning of this month, maybe. I'm not sure, but I thought that they were going to put it on Hulu because Disney owns Hulu. So I'm just like, all right, I mean, that works. I mean, kind of, I guess. Like, I was never expecting them to have the balls to throw it onto Disney Plus, and they did catch a lot of flack from parents and stuff. But who cares, man?
I just logged into Disney Plus, and there's an option to either have the limited catalog, where it shows everything that's PG, maybe PG-13, and then the stuff that's TVMA, you can opt into and put a security pin on it.
Yep.
My roommate, so she has Disney Plus. She's a huge Disney fan, so it makes sense. She was watching this movie, and I can't remember the name of it, but the premise is like there's a family that
Encanto.
like they turn into red pandas, or they used to a
that's
long
that
time
newest
ago.
one.
Turning red.
Yeah.
Yeah, so apparently there's a lot of flack about that movie because it mentions like preparing for a young woman to have periods. Like she's freaking out in the bathroom in one of the scenes, and the mom's running or driving to the school with like a box of tampons, like, oh God, is it that time? Is that time? And it turns out she's just turning into a panda, and she's like, oh God, it's that time.
I could be wrong, but I feel like a couple, maybe not Disney, but like other cartoony things have mentioned that or have shown that kind of thing. So it's like, why people are so fucking sensitive to that shit.
Yeah, and it's like,
Yeah.
why would you be upset over something like that? Like, do you want your kids to grow up thinking that periods are gross and
Right.
unnatural?
You know
Like,
what
that's why
pisses
you
me
get,
off?
yeah, like, because that's how you get the guys that are like, ew, you're having a period, gross. Be a fucking man and buy her some tampons or some shit. Jesus.
Anyways, what
Yeah.
grinds your gears, Brad?
So on in the same vein, it's such an American thing, like that in general,
Right.
but also like nudity and sex in movies. Um,
That is crazy as fuck when you find out that it's pretty much just our country that kind of doesn't want your sexuality, I guess, like to be out there.
so that, but the real reason why it pisses me off is you take nudity, sexuality, whatever, but you let kids watch bloody, gory ass things where people are getting shot up and chopped
Right.
up. Like you would rather see your kid, or you would rather have your kids see someone get blown to bits than have their dick out.
Yep.
Like that's like sex and nudity is supernatural part about being a human. Killing isn't supposed to be,
Right.
like why are you showing that kind of shit? Like and that's another thing. That's in PG-13 movies where you're seeing a lot of blood in some cases, and obviously they tone it down a bit, but like it's just it's like
Yeah,
their values are reversed.
when you watch,
Hmm.
for example, Avengers Age of Ultron in the very beginning when they're going through that Hydra base and they're fucking up all the soldiers, you see the Hulk going through all these people that are in like bunkers, and then you see Natasha Romanoff shooting someone point blank, and they're just like passing it off like nothing. but
Right.
but you show off like a V-neck of a shirt or whatever, and like you can see like parts of a girl's breast, and it's just like the worst thing ever.
Right. I don't
I
I
don't
don't I don't
understand it.
understand that.
Never understood that. And then you got like these European like comedy shows or whatever where like someone they're pulling pranks on like people in public, some chick like sits on a bench or whatever, stands up, and like her skirt comes off, and then like it's a huge laugh. But
Hmm.
you can't even consider that in American TV. It's the
Right.
weirdest shit in the world. Weirdest.
And Americans have their values just so flipped and turned around. It's stupid.
Yeah.
Now, am I like do take out the violence thing, right? And make it just the nudity and sexuality thing. I'm fine with keeping it still rated R. Like I guess it's not that big of a deal. But if you're gonna let something PG-13 be super bloody, gory, whatever, and let
Hmm.
nudity be rated R, it's stupid. No. There's an Encanto sing along, by the way.
Aren't they doing that with a bunch of their movies now?
I know Coco had one. I think it's literally just Coco, but with like lyrics on the screen.
Right. Okay, did you guys see the Miss Marvel trailer?
Yeah,
I saw bits
I
and
don't
pieces
think I
of it.
did.
Okay. It- It's so these superheroes now. All right. They're throwing in a variety of them, which is awesome. But Miss Marvel, from what I understand, they put her on the forefront of a lot of things. Like the Avengers game, she was kind of like the protagonist that got everyone back together, I guess. And like, I don't know. I never
Hmm.
played the game, but from the trailers, you can tell that's pretty much what she is. Her character is the one that like brings everyone back together after, spoiler alert, uh, Captain America's death in the beginning of the game. And like,
Wow.
dang.
I think she had a big role in Civil War Part 2. So the first Civil War, Spider-Man was like, in the very center of it. Because it was the superheroes kind of registering their names and stuff for the public viewing or whatever. So Spider-Man was in the middle of it because it's like kind of a really bad double-edged sword where like if he shows himself to the public as Peter Parker, all of his enemies are gonna go after his loved ones.
Hmm.
But then I forgot what the other reason would be for not doing it, but you got that. And then Civil War 2 was between Iron Man and Captain Marvel, and I think Miss Marvel was supposed to be taking Spider-Man's position in that one. But anyways, what I'm trying to understand is they're making they're making it super, I don't know, childish, I guess.
Teenage movie campy.
Yeah. When you can kind of like if all that stuff that I just talked about is in any relation to how they're going to add her into the MCU, I don't know, I kind of wish they would have taken the character story or the movie itself a little more seriously, but that's just me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It just kind of feels like they're. It's like a coming of age movie, kind of.
It definitely looks like it.
Just, I mean, she looks. I mean, she is a kid, right?
Right. And I mean, for the most part, it looks like. I mean, they're probably gonna do something about it in the movie, but in the trailer, you can kind of see that she wants to be a superhero for all the wrong reasons, I guess. To get the boy that she likes and be famous and all that. I mean, they're probably gonna,
Mm-hmm.
you know, do the better version of it in the movie where she fucking learns and she's just like, oh, maybe it's not all that, and I actually have to
Right.
be a hero. But who knows?
Right.
I am really not interested in that. I've never
Same.
been interested in Miss Marvel, but I don't know. Hopefully it turns out to be good. I mean,
It definitely looks like it is more tuned for kids.
yeah. And so far, I liked everything that they put up for the Marvel shows, for the most part.
They've all been
Mm-hmm.
good. I didn't watch What If though.
What if? Yeah, that was okay. That was probably like one of the worst shows out of all of them that have come out so far. But even then, it's
Yeah.
not horrible.
Right.
But
Or is it?
or is it?
I
Yeah.
don't know, Billy. You tell me. Go watch it
Oh,
right now.
I've never seen it. Oh, all right. I'll pull it up.
Thanks.
We
It's on
got
YouTube's, right?
we do have Moon Knight coming out on the 30th though.
9 days.
Yup.
Fuck
That's
yeah,
gonna be
dude.
interesting. And especially Oscar Isaac.
I don't know
I'm
how I
down.
feel about it being a show. I mean, they're doing well with the shows, but I feel like Moon Knight should be a movie.
What it would, I mean, why do you feel like it would be better as a movie instead of a show?
Just premise of the character and all that. Like, I feel like they could just portray it in a movie because like it's another one of those where it's kind of like how Phase One of Marvel did it, where
Mm-hmm.
each character has their introduction movie. I feel like this is going to be a probably pretty big character in the MCU. At least I would hope.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so the fact that he's not getting a full movie is kind of weird. But
Right.
again, these TV shows are killing it. So I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're doing really well with these shows.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it's anything like Daredevil or The Punisher. I don't see why it wouldn't be a bad idea to have it as a TV show. I mean, the
Mm-hmm.
storytelling, at least for Daredevil, if a show like Moon Knight can have great storytelling like they did with Daredevil, I'd much rather have it as a show than a movie. But
Right.
we'll see on that part because I mean, I think for the most part, Daredevil was really the only one that the fans were collectively in agreement that it was a really good show, whereas the other
Mm-hmm.
three were super mixed. Some people liked Jessica Jones, some people didn't. Some people liked Iron Fist, some people didn't. And then, you know,
A
so on and so on.
lot of people didn't like Iron Fist.
That yeah, and that was one of them. But I still watched it. I just
I think I only got 2 episodes into it.
that was definitely the worst out of all of them. Luke Cage, I actually thought that was the second best in my opinion. But
Never gave it a chance.
yeah, I
I
was
watched
super bummed
uh,
with Iron Fist.
I watched Jessica Jones, started Iron Fist, and then just didn't care about it. Any of the others that came out. Never. Well, I'm pretty sure I started watching Daredevil at the beginning, but I never kept up with it.
Which still blows my mind because you'll watch Jessica Jones, but you won't watch fucking Daredevil.
I did, fucking David Tennant, man. I'm a Doctor Who nerd. I like the guy a lot.
You gotta watch it, man. You just have to. Look, it's on Disney
Maybe
Plus, my
someday.
guy. You got.
Now,
You're
now
not.
that he's officially a part of the MCU, sure.
Look, dude, he's a really good lawyer.
How long have you been practicing law? What time is it? About 7 hours.
Oh man, I can't wait to see what they do with Daredevil in the MCU. Now, another thing too, because Moon Knight being a TV show, there's a possibility that they might end up doing another Defenders style team up through Marvel TV with whoever it is that they end up coming out with next.
Well, if they do Midnight Suns, it'll be a TV show more than likely.
Right. But that's kind of weird because I think so. Blade's going to be a movie, but I think Blade was also part of Midnight Suns.
He is.
So, I mean,
Yeah.
unless they do a crossover with him being in the show, which shouldn't be an issue because they kind of already did that with the first few Marvel TV shows. People from
That's
the
it.
movies going into their own TV shows.
It looks like they're going to normalize TV shows being same as movies.
Or at least cross them over for events.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I'd be excited for that. I just want to know who they're going to choose as their next Ghost Rider. Because Ghost Rider is a cool fucking character.
Nick Cage again, please.
Please. Nicolas Cage.
Give him another chance. Just make him like a different version, like a 616, Ghost Rider.
Did you guys see the first one?
Yeah.
Billy?
See the what?
The first Ghost Rider?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember his first time changing into the Ghost Rider? Like his reactions of like him screaming and then like they were doing like they were doing like a 360 motion on him while he was changing. Can they do that every single time he needs to change into Ghost Rider? Like, even after a few years of him doing that, you think he'd be used to it, but no, he's still gonna keep screaming at it.
I want
he's not
that.
used to it.
Yeah, no, it's not at all.
I want that every time, and then I want a crossover with Daredevil or Deadpool, where it cuts to him just like looking at his watch, like just does he do this every time?
Please, that would be good. That would probably be perfect for that, honestly.
Also, with all the stuff that's going on with Marvel or Disney fully taking over the Marvel brand and bringing everything Disney Plus, it probably means that we are gonna get a Daredevil 3, and it's gonna still be rated R, and it's gonna be fucking awesome. And then they're gonna be able to integrate him into other MCU stuff, at least as a cameo.
Yeah. Well, I think they said I don't know if it was confirmed or not, but I think they said that Deadpool is taking over Stan Lee's cameos.
That makes sense.
That'd be interesting, especially now that he is part of the MCU.
Yeah.
So I love Deadpool, and you need to watch it, Brad. There's a lot of shit that you need to watch, Brad.
Deadpool 2. Deadpool 2. I've seen Deadpool 1.
All right. Do you know that Brad hasn't watched John Wick?
Like any of them?
Any of them.
John Wick, no. You and I watched John Wick 1 together.
Never finished it with you.
Brad.
We watched all of it.
Tell me the ending, Brad.
No.
Spoiler alert.
I don't remember.
All right.
I do remember John Wick. All right, I haven't seen John Wick 2 or 3, though.
See what I mean, Billy? This uncultured swine.
Disappointment is what I'm hearing.
I mean, as a self-proclaimed movie buff, there's a lot of fucking movies I haven't seen. I've never actually seen Pulp Fiction all the way through. I've never seen Reservoir Dogs.
But I bet you've seen bunch of gas stations.
I've never watched... I went to a gas station today. But, to be fair, I had a doctor's appointment in the town that I used to work at that gas station, so I went to that gas station.
Okay, certain people will and won't forgive you for not watching Quentin Tarantino movies. I could really give a flying fuck about Quentin Tarantino movies.
Okay, but like it depends on the movie.
Reservoir
Does
Dogs
it?
is
Does it?
my favorite of his movies.
Um,
Have you seen
as
that, Billy?
a
I don't think I've seen that one, but I'm trying to think. Quentin Tarantino, I might have him confused with someone else. He wasn't in.
Quentin
Oh,
Tarantino's the director, and sometimes goes into his movies.
yeah, but he wasn't in the movie. What the fuck? Gran Torino? That's not Quentin. I got it all mixed up. All right,
That's Clint Eastwood.
Clint Eastwood. There you go.
Oh
See,
my
that's the guy.
god.
I have also not watched any Clint Eastwood movies. Sorry.
Oh man.
I'm not gonna say what I was gonna say, but you know what I was gonna say.
Kick rocks, yes.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I haven't seen like pretty much any Tarantino movies because I just don't.
How could you call yourself a movie buff? Name a director who you've actually seen movies for.
Spielberg.
Billy,
Uh,
Billy, you have no. You cannot ask him that question when you couldn't tell the difference between Clint Eastwood and Quentin Tarantino. You fucking idiot.
the ones that I am embarrassed to say are I have never seen The Sixth Sense because I am a horror movie buff. I have never seen The
That
Sixth
Well, yeah,
Sense.
movie
we all
has
know
been
about you and your horror
spoiled so
movies.
much for me that I never cared about watching it.
That's my point. I don't like. Oh, I see dead people. It's like
See,
I know
That's the
now,
big
and I hate
twist.
it.
What's that director's name? Shamalama Lama?
Yeah,
Oh,
Shyamalan
Shyamalan
Ding Dong.
Nights.
Yeah. Shamalama Lama.
His movies always have a dark twist at the end.
So they supposedly have a good twist every
Like
single
The
time.
Mist.
Okay,
Wasn't that
that
just
one
a
The
that
Mist.
one was
cop,
fucking
though?
brutal though.
Fuck
Wasn't that
that
just
movie.
a okay? Yeah, that ending was quite. But wasn't that just the same thing as Stephen? Fuck.
Stephen Hawking.
What's that director? Not
Spielberg?
director, book writer.
Booker. Oh, Stephen King.
Yeah, Stephen King wasn't a ripoff of his Fog movie.
I think that
I
was his
think I think
actual book.
I think The Mist is the
I
book.
think that's his actual book. Yeah.
Yeah, but they made a movie for the Mist
the
and
ending.
the Fog.
I think the ending was the only different one from like the only thing different from the book because Stephen King did say that like he wished he would have come up with that ending instead.
Mm.
I do remember that. Yes.
Cause that ending was fucking brutal. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
that's a pretty nutty ending.
Yeah,
We were kids, man, when I saw this, and I was just like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
I was talking. I was like, literally, I was like, wouldn't it suck if this is what happened, and it fucking happened? I was like, what the fuck? That's fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like as a kid, we're used to seeing
A happy ending.
happy endings and
Yeah.
like at least everyone is kind of surviving.
Right.
Like the thing with horror movies is they all follow the same trope of like,
Mhm.
jock dies and the girl gets with the nerd guy or whatever. There's no happy ending for anyone in this. The guy just shot his wife and kids and he's about to shoot himself, right out of bullets, and then went, military's here. Fuck.
Yeah.
I've also never
Yeah.
seen The Shining.
What?
Yeah, me
I've never
either.
seen The
And I
Shining.
actually do want to watch it. I just keep pushing it back for
Let's
some
watch
reason.
it together.
All right.
No balls.
Watch party.
No balls tomorrow.
How many times have we
Billy,
said
come
that?
over
Okay,
tomorrow.
look, can we get a watch cart like a watch party?
Billy, come
Billy.
over tomorrow.
Billy, come
Oh
over
yeah, I'll be
tomorrow.
on my way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like right
Just
after
bring
this
your
podcast.
just bring your
come
work
over.
computer.
Bring the whole.
Aren't you gonna do that? Aren't you gonna do that, Brad?
I would love for
wasn't.
you. I would love for you to show the audience how big that fucking desktop is, Billy.
My desktop?
Just that case alone, that PC case of yours.
I can't pick it up. It'll disconnect
That
everything.
thing is insanely huge, dude.
No, it is huge. It's how tall would you say my desk is? Probably like 3-4 feet,
Something
like high.
that. Something like that.
Yeah, my desk case comes pretty much up to it.
That shit is nuts. It's a
And
really
it's
weird
wide too.
triangle.
Yeah, that's why I have that dilemma of, I want to upgrade my processor, but if I upgrade my processor, I have to upgrade my motherboard. And if I upgrade my motherboard, I've got to change my case.
Just get a whole new PC.
What?
Just get a whole new PC. Be like Brad.
I might as
Use
well. Like at
use
that point,
use part of your loan for your house, and just get a whole new
let
PC.
me just consolidate everything into the loan of the house.
Why not?
Exactly. Why not?
It's a business investment. Tax
Exactly.
write-offs.
You get it.
Come on, guys.
Racks on stacks on
It's
packs.
first grade SpongeBob.
First grade SpongeBob. SpongeBob. I did not watch The Exorcist until we watched it with Charlie that one.
Taking away your good movie
Really?
stars.
Yeah.
I've seen it
6 years
up
ago,
to
Billy.
that,
Fuck you.
Up to that point, I did see it, but I did not remember it. So it was a nice little refresher seeing it with you guys that
You know
night.
what? Next thing you know is Brad's gonna tell us he's never seen Signs.
I saw Signs in theaters, and I had like an empath like feeling when I was watching that movie, where when the kid was having his anxiety attack, I couldn't breathe. Like I thought I was having an anxiety attack too. Like I'm a little kid, I'm freaking out. Like this kid's dying, I'm dying. What the fuck?
So that movie was ruined for me because I watched Scary Movie 3 before I watched Signs. So by the time I saw Signs, I just couldn't take it seriously.
The knife under the door,
Yeah.
and instead of the alien, it's seeing under the skirt.
Yeah.
I've never seen Psycho.
That's an American classic, my guy.
Psycho or American Psycho?
Neither.
Okay. Well, Psycho you don't need to. It's just that super iconic death scene, and that's it. You don't really need to worry about anything else. You can
American
watch Bates
Psycho,
Motel,
I'd
though.
watch it just for. I've actually kind of been interested in Bates Motel.
It's pretty good. I never went past the second season though.
Yeah. Did you guys watch Quiet Place?
Yes, I saw both
Oh,
of
I
them.
think I did.
I had no interest in watching that.
Well,
I
to each
still
their
kind
own.
of don't.
To each their own, but they were really, really good movies.
That's the one where like they have to be quiet, right?
No,
Or the monster will get them.
no, they have to be loud.
They have to
This is why nobody
constantly be
watches our
giving off noise. Except you, Jake, right, homie?
What part of Quiet Place do you not understand?
I mean, there's a whole bunch of movies out there about deaf people, right?
What?
Not a horror movie, but have you guys?
What do you mean? Shut. Oh, you're talking. Okay.
Have
I
you
was gonna
guys
go on.
seen not Young Frankenstein? Have you guys seen
I
that?
love that one.
It's such a
Can't
good
say I've
movie.
seen that
It's a
one.
great
It's
movie.
a comedy with Gene Wilder. That's fantastic. And Kara and I, we went to see a play of it in at my university, and they turned it into a little bit of a musical, and they killed it. It's so good.
So my first viewing of Young Frankenstein was actually through Big Daddy, Adam Sandler's movie, because at one point they have a little montage of them actually getting along together, and one of the movies that they watch is Young Frankenstein, where the revolving library shelf, whatever, just like ends up crushing Gene Wilder's character. And then I never knew about that movie until I think they showed it to me in high school in one of my classes. I forgot. But yeah, I ended up showing it to my sister a few years back while we were cutting pumpkins.
Name any other quote unquote movie buff that has seen Open House all the way through. Bet you can't.
Z.
Z
Yeah,
left for half of it.
Look, arguably, yeah. I mean, and I was drunk for the whole thing, so.
Didn't both of you leave through half of it?
Hey, he had to
left
shit.
through the
I had
first
to
half,
shit.
you
He
left for
took
the second
fucking
half?
Look,
longest time.
a movie
He
like that
left.
just makes you want to shit. I don't know what it is, but that's just the type of movie.
It's the fact that you want to get away from it.
That too.
I left like the last revealing moment. Like it was right after I walked up the stairs. You sent me a text. I just sat down.
The
You're like,
M.
oh
Night
my God, this
Shyamalan
happened.
twist.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, oh my God, this happened. I'm like, and I just fucking sat down.
Oh yeah, the chick died, or the neighbor died, or whatever. It's like, dude, neighbor died.
Whatever the fuck. And you're like, dude.
Right.
Fuck.
Good times. I don't even remember it, but good times.
Did you guys watch the Babadook?
Never.
I
Fuck
think I've
that
seen
movie.
that one.
Fuck that movie.
It looked probably as dumb as Open House. I'm not gonna lie.
It was the only word I can use to describe it is annoying. It was a very annoying movie.
So just like Open House.
Yes.
More, I'd say.
No way. Get the fuck out of here, man. Stop trying to put
So
movies worse than
no,
Open
okay.
House.
Open House was a bad movie. Yes. Was it annoying? No. Like it
Yes.
was just boring. The thing with the
No.
Babadook
No.
is, shut the fuck up, Billy.
It
The
was
whole
annoying.
thing.
just let him
The
just let him
whole thing
talk.
about the Babadook is it's following this mom and her kid, and like they're seeing the Babadook or whatever, and like whatever, but the kid is just constantly screaming and like getting into trouble and just being loud and obnoxious and weird. And the whole thing is around the kid to the point where like there's a point in the movie where like the mom's probably about to kill the kid, and I'm like, I feel that on a personal level. I don't want to watch this anymore because this kid won't shut the fuck up. And that's part of the point. Like it's the mom going crazy while the kid is making it worse too.
Look, for anyone that doesn't know about this movie, it is literally Billy's childhood. And
Wait,
Billy
was
was
they
the
were
one
they locked
screaming
in the
all the
basement
time.
the whole time?
Yes.
Billy was dropped on his head as a kid and woke up in the military. That he
Easy,
doesn't have
easy.
a
No, no, no,
I
no, no,
childhood.
no,
wasn't
no, no.
dropped. Okay, I was yeeted into a fucking wall.
Yeah, no, he was actually thrown into ROTC.
Quite literally.
That was his thing.
By his
Yeeted.
ankle, his mom was like, "You are such a bad kid. Take him."
Just a little shake before she throws you.
Whip me around
Okay,
like
you
a
know what
fucking
that reminded
lion.
me of, Brad? I don't know why, but do you remember we were at one of Sierra's parties, and fucking Jacob, he takes forever to like throw the last ping pong ball at the cup. So we were playing beer pong, and we got to the point where like both sides were on the last cup, and this guy Jacob, not our Jacob that we've been talking about, it's a different Jacob, but he ends up making this deal with Brad. He's like, all right, if I make this, you got to suck my dick. And then he's like, all right, no balls. And then fucking Jacob, for a whole fucking minute, I shit you not, he was just like this the entire time for a whole minute just before he threw it. And the fact that that fucker made it after doing that amount of bullshit before the throw.
Can I just say that every time from then on that I met him, he just said, "When are you gonna suck my dick?" And I'm like, "There's a point where I'm starting to think you're serious about it, man. Fucking weirdo.
Who
I
He
know
knows,
your
is.
man?
entire life is a dry spell, but like, come
Why,
on."
why don't you take him up on the offer?
Who says I didn't?
I don't
A
know.
clean mouth.
I mean, he'd have to find it first. Anyways,
Fair enough.
Welcome to the Mere Nonsense podcast.
Where we try to have great conversations, but they turn into shit talking moments. Look, that's just how we talk to each other every single day. I think there comes a point where we can't really have a conversation and we can only talk shit to each other.
we were talking the other day, a couple weeks ago, whatever, and Z said something like so genuine where we were like talking about something in the past and how me and him saw these like two guys together who were like just being bros or whatever, and Z's just like, why can't that be us, Brad? And like I took that to heart, right? But also because we're assholes. That's just
Yeah,
how
no.
we are.
So
We
these two friends. So me and Brad, obviously we can't really go a conversation
nice to
without
each
talking
other.
shit to each other. So we're already talking shit to each other. We're having lunch or whatever. And then there's these two guys that come in together and they're just like ordering whatever and like, oh no, don't worry, I'll pay for you. And it's like, oh, okay, thanks, blah, blah, blah. And then you can just tell they're like super nice to each other. I'm like, when the fuck have Brad and I done that? And I'm just like, Brad, why can't we be like that to each other?
We don't talk nice to each other. Now we do pay for each other's meals all the time, but it's more of an unspoken thing. Like one of us just kind of pays for it, and then the next person kind of pays for it the next time or whatever.
Right.
But that again unspoken, right? It's not just like, hey man, I got you, don't worry. Usually, I mean, sometimes we'll do that, but
Look,
and then conversation wise, we can have a conversation, but I'm gonna call you a fucking nerd in the middle of it or something, or
the
I'm
thought
gonna
of
shit talk you.
complimenting each other and like, face to face.
Oh, dude.
Oh, dude. No, dude. It just
But
can't.
then you see you and I talk to other people, and we're chill with them. We're like, I mean, we have our circle of people that we do talk shit, just everyone. But if I'm at a party and I talk to a person I've never talked to before, normal conversation. The second you walk up, I'm slapping you and saying, "What the fuck do you want?"
Pretty much. Just like what day was that? That was Friday, right? At Jacobs.
Oh, at the Jacobs. I
So
didn't even acknowledge you walking in.
yeah, that too.
I didn't acknowledge you walk in at all, and then you come over to me. I'm like, "Fuck you,
No,
want?"
I
With
I
your
see
nipples.
Brad's table. I'm like, okay, I see Brad. I'm not going there. But I was having a conversation with someone that I just met there, and then Brad like comes up. He just tries to get close to me. I just like lovingly just cup his nuts, and he thinks that I hit
No,
him.
he hits my balls.
I didn't.
He back
I
knuckles my
didn't.
balls,
No,
bro.
I literally did that. I cupped sort of kind of your nuts. All right, dude.
You backhanded into it. It wasn't hard. I will give you that. It was not hard, but you still went for it.
Brad was hard after.
Oh yeah.
But so that's this is a like definitely a Mike thing too. Is we don't hit each other's balls anymore. Like we used to kind of do it, on an occasion. It would be a surprise, but even then we were always on our guard. It has been years since we've nut tapped each other. And one time, like a couple, like maybe last year, Enzomo decided to nut tap me, and I'm like, I haven't had that happen to me since senior year of high school. What the
Okay,
fuck?
but for some odd reason, he's so good at that. Like
Yes.
doing it randomly. So, I don't know if you met him, Billy, but it was our friend Matt Baheis.
Nope.
Dude, he had the worst luck. Growing up with us, he had the worst luck of getting hit in the nuts. Fucking, he would walk up to my front door, and then Zelma would always have like a cookie from my pantry. And like the
course.
door opens up, he just whips it at Matt, and it goes straight into his nuts. And then another occasion, we just got back to my place from driving somewhere, and Matt somehow gets in the way of someone opening the back seat door, ends up hitting him in the nuts with the door. Like he just had the worst luck with that, dude.
Oh my god.
What was it? You and Enzomo who both threw phones at me?
No, that was just me.
You threw two phones?
Yeah, because there were two phones on the table. I threw one at you, and you're like, "Ha!" and then the other one. Yeah, perfect timing.
Needless to say,
Calculated.
I'm happy we don't do that anymore.
Sam.
That was the worst thing in high school that people did. You could slap me in my face and I wouldn't bat an eye, but the second you nut
You
tap
always
me,
had to cover yourself around your friends, dude. It was the worst.
especially in Zelmo. Fucking Zelmo. Let's get him back on the podcast. I'm gonna yell at him.
Yeah, fuck my coochie.
Yeah. It hurts.
It hurts. Oh boy. Well, it was nice talking to you guys, but we gotta cut it at this point.
We can all go
Yeah.
play one showdown.
Maybe. But yeah, if you guys have nothing else to talk about, this has been the Mere Near Nonsense podcast.
If anyone is actually listening to the end, I want you to.
Deuces.
Nah.
Bye.